Hello. Well, I'm sure we're no longer allowed to say Happy New Year, so I'm just going to go ahead and say, I hope your January has been impactful. I hope it's been phenomenal. I hope you have kicked off 2024 to a great start. Um, and I'm also sure that by now most of you have sat in multiple strategy setting meetings. Those 2024 Outlook sessions. So today, what I really wanted to share with you is one of my personal key aspirational themes for this year, which is working from a place of rest. Um, so bringing a bit of a context to that. So last year, my to-do list just grew, right? And it grew and grew. Don't get me wrong, I had great pleasure and satisfaction in taking off those things. But at one point, I'm sure my list was growing at a much higher rate than I was taking off, which then says to me that the work is never truly done. It is pretty much ongoing. I mean, you could have peaks and troughs, but it's you never get to a place where the work is finished. So when I then start to want to seek permission, or waiting for when my work is done before I rest, then what that leads to is getting me to a place of a rut where I am beginning to chase rest, and it truly starts to feel like I'm chasing the winds because I never truly have that permission because my work is never truly well and done, right? It's ongoing. Okay, so what that means is a rethink of the dynamics between rest and work. I know for sure, that's not how God intended for work to play out in our lives. The Bible in the book of Genesis tells me that the first day of mankind, the existence of mankind, was on the day of rest in the presence of God. You know, Adam was made on day six. Day seven was a day of rest. So that tells me that the rest and work dynamics should be rest is a foundational element. Rest is the foundation from which we work, from which we be, from which we operate, right? It's the foundation from which we lead, we impact, and we influence. It's not rest is not the reward from work. So I suppose then that leads us to the natural next question: what is rest? What do I mean when I say rest? By literal definition, rest is restorative, right? But I don't mean taking a nap, sleeping, or going on vacation. I mean, all of that is very well and good. We should certainly have margins in our lives that allow us to do that because it's great self care. It takes care of your physical well being, your mental well being, and your emotional well being. So we should certainly carry on doing those things. But the sort of rest that I'm referring to here is one that goes a lot deeper. Is a sort of rest that feeds my soul and feeds my spirit. Is a type of rest that allows me to be unshakable, unmovable. The sort of rest that allows me to make those critical decisions with discernment from a place of being very well centered. It's the sort of rest that allows us have that grit and tenacity to go out there and occupy our spaces unapologetically so. So for me, um, rest is really being able to having the ability to step out or rather step away from our to-do list and really enter his presence, sit in the presence of God. So that those stress points of the day, where the stresses of the day has touched, can be restored and can be rejuvenated, and I can come out whole. Right? It creates a space and it's creating time to focus on the one who has called me in order to fulfill the calling well for his glory. Right? I'm going to leave that one here. Let it simmer. Let it ponder on it. Let it simmer. I would love to hear different perspectives on this. I would love to hear your voices on this and thoughts. But I'm going to come back on. So there's going to be a follow up. And on the follow up, we're going to explore, what practical steps we can take, as senior leaders out there in a corporate world or wherever industry you occupy, um, what practical steps we could take to make sure we are truly establishing a rhythm of intentionality when it comes to sitting in his presence, to be fed, to be led, and to be comforted. So we're made whole, we're stronger, and we go out there and we lead well, we impact well, we influence well, according to, the one who has called us for his purpose. Okay. Well, have a blessed rest of the week. Well done for reaching the end of January. We're very much in the last sprint now, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.